offline.
Waiting for the last second to drop that mic.
Oh.
That was good.
Okay. This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. Guys, the summer season is over and it is no longer piping hot in Japan. JList.com has brought back chocolate products to their store, and that means Kit Kats are back, baby. They have huge bags of Kit Kats that you can buy for $5 each. And you know Japan has a ton of flavors. They've got roasted green tea, regular green tea, strawberry, yuzu, chestnut, apple pie, Mountain Fuji, cheesecake, wasabi, rum, and raisin. I know that Enzo would love some yuzu Kit Kats right about now. Yeah, that's right. He's nodding yes. I agree. Head over to JList.com and you can get your anime needs fixed up and you can buy yourself a bag of Kit Kats to go with it. And now it's time to start the podcast.
来てくれてありがとう You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at aapodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome to the 494th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. I am your host Mitsuki, and I am joined by a full boat. We have a full house today, waving on the cameras. We have Mandy. Mandy, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing good. I like how whenever Mason jumps, the jumps just keep getting longer and longer.
Oh, yeah.
It's like over here and over here. I was cracking up.
Mason's gonna drum out a very snazzy intro right about now. How are you, Mason?
I'm doing the best I can. And
Oh, wow.
That's so depressing.
I'm doing the best I can. You know, I wish I was drumming right now, but this is a close second, so I'm happy to be here.
And of course, we have the very sharp-shirted Enzo. Enzo, how are you?
I'm doing well, hungover as heck, but I will never let that stop me from being here, baby. Let's get it. Let's get this podcast money, baby.
Enzi, what is the mission of this podcast then? Since you're feeling it. Oh my god.
The mission of this fucking podcast is to make your anime addiction worse, my god.
Oh baby, so much worse. I'm feeling the love. And if you want to give us some love, you can go to aapodcast.com/join, where we have our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, our after party episodes, something like 500 to 600 exclusive podcasts just for you over at aapodcast.com/join. So go get it. You know you want it. And we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/group/aapodcast. You can talk to us over there. And of course on the Discord, which you can reach from the top of of our main website. So you're definitely going to want to head over to the Discord, where there's something like 1,600 anime addicts just like you already conversing and engaging in a very high school-esque variety of clubs. We have our own anime high school worth of clubs, including, you know what? I'm just going to let you guys sort of dive right into these club activities. Who wants to start that off? Because you guys are more in tune with that than I am.
Sure. Well, the Anime Club, if you're listening to us live, we are discussing the entire 7 episodes of 1988's Patlabor OVA this week on October 23rd. This is the show that we reviewed last episode, so it's your chance to give us feedback and your own thoughts on how it was. And if you're not listening live, you can join us the next time on November 6th, where we will be talking about the classic Ranma 1/2.
Oh, that sounds good. And we also have manga club activities going strong. Mandy?
We do. We just did, what did we do last week? 20th Century Boys. Sorry. Yep. I'm getting confused because my cat's screaming at me right now. We just did 20th Century Boys. That was a lot of fun. I really want to finish the rest of the series. It was, I'm super into the mystery in it. That's in that story. But our next manga will be Doro Hei Doro. We decided to do that for Halloween season, so that will be the 2 first volumes of the series, and the book club will be on the 23rd.
Sounds
good. It's a super quick read, so it's very easy to get on board.
So come to Discord, check out the Manga Club channel, and you can check the pin notes for all the information you need for times and chapters and everything.
Anybody else?
Quick Discord wrap up. We got the Family Feud link, so get on that. It's still open right now. We've been doing Friday gaming clubs. We've been playing all sorts of things, and that has been a ton of fun. Last Friday we did Cards Against Humanity, and Mandy dominated.
Was ridiculous.
That was classic.
I have a horrible sense of humor.
Exactly, very funny, very funny.
Mandy, pick up that cat. That cat wants your love so badly.
It
wants your love. Oh.
It's just also, be on the lookout. The best of the year, like the surveys and awards that we usually talk about, those will be coming out in about a month. So start perusing your brain for the things you liked. Last chance to get your pumpkin carving in for the contest. You have until October 26th to do that. And I think that's about does it for the big news in the Discord.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, and on this podcast, we're going to be doing a mailbag revenge episode. We have fallen a little behind on mailbags, and so we're going to be diving into that, answering your questions that you've been patiently waiting for. So apologize for the wait. And of course, the fall season is here, and it's turning out to be a spicy one. And we have 5 impressions for you today. We're going to be doing Babylon, or as I like to say, Babylon.
Sure.
Yeah, baby. And Honzuki no Gekkokujo. We're going to be doing Hokago Saikoro Club, Blade of the Immortal, and Ahiru no Sora, the basketball anime. So without further ado, let's just jump right in because we got a shitload of stuff to do today.
Let's do the thing.
Heck yeah.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Crunchyroll did their top 20 most watched anime from the summer 2019 season. That's globally. And it looks like, according to Crunchyroll, action shows and isekai shows are dominating anime right now.
Shocker, dude.
As it looks like, as I browse through this list, almost every show on the list is either an action show or an isekai anime. Including Attack on Titan, Black Clover, Bleach, Boruto, Demon Slayer, Dr. Stone, Dragon Ball, Fairy Tail, Fire Force, Food Wars, Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter hanging in there from a long ass time.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Wait, this isn't what's currently airing?
So this isn't the most popular shows from 2019. These are just the most popular shows watched during
the summer season.
It was my fault.
and my fault too.
I was watching it nonstop. Gotcha. Sorry, guys.
That makes sense. Yes.
Is it wrong to pick up Girls in a Dungeon? Also hanging in there. Isekai Cheat Magician. Has anybody heard of this or seen this? It's one of the only ones here that has no
Mason
link.
Did it.
Oh, did you, Mason?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
But you did the impression on it, didn't you?
I don't think so.
Maybe
You're saying no.
Maybe it was that unforgettable.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, My Hero Academia, Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, One Piece, Rising of the Shield Hero, and Reincarnated as a Slime, all on this list. How is this possible? Are we watching nothing except? Is there not one? There's like not one comedy on here. There's not one drama.
Slice of life.
No slice of life.
Slime, really. But Slime gets the isekai buff, so.
I mean, I've just been watching Hunter x Hunter nonstop, so.
Yeah, I wonder if they do it based on like individual users or like amount of time put into it, because I could see it going a lot of different ways. Also, Isekai Cheat Magician, I did not review. I think you're thinking of Tejuna Senpai, which is the magical one. Isekai Cheat Magician has a 5.54 on my anime list.
So it's
which
really
is
good.
Ouch!
Impressively awful. And
that is.
it's very odd in this list. So
that's pretty bad.
Yes.
Yeah. So it looks like shonen shows are just crushing. I mean, if you look at the list here, I mean, how many of these are shonen? Attack on Titan, that's shonen, is it not? Pretty much all of it. Pretty much everything, yeah. With the exception of maybe, I don't know, is How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon a shonen show? I don't really think so, is it?
I'd say so, probably.
I would say it is
more that than
just demographic, probably.
Yeah,
JoJo's not.
JoJo's in Shonen Jump.
I thought I was a seinen.
It only became a seinen halfway through part 6, I think.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So they should have just said all people watch is shonen shows. The end.
Yes.
The end. Shonen reigns supreme yet again.
Yeah, for real. So it's still. I mean, I don't know. Yet again, did it ever not? Was it never not reigning supreme? So
yeah, I don't think it's gonna change at all either. It's just easiest stories to get into. So
yeah, very easy and very long. So when people love them, they never end. And so. But Mandy, you're watching Hunter x Hunter still? Like, you already finished it, so are you just rewatching it?
I go back to episodes all the time.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
She got it bad.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I do. I got keychains.
I'll tell you
what. My keychains on the stream?
Yeah,
for those listening, I have Hunter x Hunter keychains.
Oh, those are cute. Wow.
And the Kilo is super cute.
Where'd you get those keychains? They're cute.
From Etsy. They're from K. Swain Art.
Wow, they look really good.
Yeah. The gold one has... big gone in the background.
Big gone.
Gone,
juicy thick boy.
He's got
thick boy gone.
he's given his
with the wildest hairdo ever.
He's given his angry green pants man face on the front of that keychain. So yeah. I'm at the point in Hunter x Hunter where they are playing dodgeball and Hisoka and Gon and Killua all try to catch the dodgeball together. So it's very cute. All right, guys. Well, I don't think there's anything else to say here, unless I'm mistaken.
No, I think we're not surprised, but it's an interesting list nonetheless.
Okay, let's get right into some feel-good times with Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner.
Join us in Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner.
Make it happen, baby.
Fam? This is Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, where you could write into me and tell me about stuff that you've accomplished, you're working on, so that we can read it on the podcast and celebrate you. Because, as I will always remind y'all, we heckin' love you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love you.
We love you.
I love you. So this one comes in from Dowsy, and Dowsy says, "Hello, I've been listening for maybe a year, but have never written in. 4 years ago, I was a college dropout living at home, working and sometimes getting fired from various odd jobs in my town. I left school because I felt like I was wasting my time and I didn't have a direction in life, so I dropped out to pursue music. 2 years later, I went back to school, but this time at a globally recognized music school. And now, 2 years after that, I just graduated with a bachelor's degree. Congrats, dude.
Let's call it Oberlin. Probably Oberlin. Let's go with that.
Okay. I'll be moving to LA in September to go into music full time, and I've already released my first project just a few days ago. It's an EP called Sentence, and my artist name is Dowsy. Dowsy with Dowsy is spelled Dowzy for any other fellow anime addicts out there that want to check it out. So searching these two words on any music platform should find it. I also posted a link in the music section of the Discord. XD lol. Thank you, Enzo, for making this section of the podcast, and also Mandy and Mitsuki and Kazuo RIP for he wrote RIP,
shit
for entertaining me while I Uber drive. All the best, Dowsy. P.S. Mitz, I hope your move went well. I'll be making a similar drive soon. Any advice?
Yeah, I'll give you some advice right now, actually. I built a Kotatsu in my living room, and I'll just tell you right now.
This is your advice. Build a Kotatsu.
Build a Kotatsu, baby. And let me just tell you something, and this goes for
Not
everybody.
a reverse one, by the way.
Not a reverse Kotatsu.
No. You don't want to chill your balls.
You want to warm your balls.
Which, by the way, might make an appearance later on. Let me just say, if you go on... My balls, yeah, I'll stick them. I'm gonna stick my balls. My balls are gonna go it'll be super zoomed in. You won't know it. You won't know it, but Mandy's got the Hisoka dick light out.
She's showing light.
Well, I can't compete with that. So.
Nope. Power levels are too strong.
I imagine that Hisoka is like all balls. He probably has like the biggest gonads you've ever seen. So if you go on Amazon,
gonads, I get it.
Yes,
My
right.
God.
Stop. Tell us about your Kotatsu.
And you can't have gonads with that gon. And I'm telling you right now, Hisoka loves himself some gon. I'm telling you. Yeah. So if you go on Amazon or eBay and you buy a Kotatsu table, which is a heated table, by the way, with a little heater under it, it's gonna run you about $250 just for the table, and that's a damn ripoff because these tables are built like crap, and they're like sub IKEA furniture level for sure. So what I did was I went to IKEA and I bought a lac table, and the lac table is about $50. I bought the heater on Amazon for about, I think it was like $100. And then the LAC table actually comes with, like, it's a coffee table that has a flat surface about halfway down the legs of it that you can actually just say screw it to that and take it out and stick it on top of the table, because the Kotatsu's got the table, then the blanket, then the table. So you can easily build yourself a Kotatsu by just using some L brackets and drilling and attaching a heater to the bottom of a LAC IKEA table, and then laying like a king size blanket over it. Pretty cool. Maybe I'll put some pictures up on social, but I'm going to be looking forward to having some toasty winters now over here in Colorado, so it's going quite well. Thank you.
All right, yeah. So, Dalsy, I hope that helps you with your drive.
That's right.
To build the Kotatsu. Anyway, thanks for writing in. And for anyone else that wants to write into Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, if you want me to notice you, then please go to aapodcast.com, hit the link that says Mailbags and More at the top. That'll take you to a web page that you can fill out like a form, a Google form thing. There's a drop down where you can pick this specific segment, and then your message will go to us for this, and we'll know that you want us to shout you out. So thanks again for writing in, Dowsy. Super appreciate it. I will check out that EP as a music snob myself.
It's like super spacey.
It is. I checked it out a bit.
Beats. It's pretty neat. The production's really good, though.
100%.
Nice,
so congrats, my dude.
All right. Well, now we're going to be heading to a segment that we haven't done in a little while, but it's not that it was discontinued or anything. It just hasn't come up, and that is the good, the bad, and the moe. Let's get right to it.
Howdy, partner. I seen you riding in on that dusty trail. Welcome to the good, the bad, and the moe.
3 quick hits here. Good, bad, moe. For the good, Studio Ghibli movies will be streaming exclusively on HBO Max, the first time they have ever existed anywhere other than Blu-ray and DVD releases and the occasional movie theater premiere. And that includes the entire Ghibli catalog, every film. So, again, this was announced just a couple days after Polygon reported that Ghibli films were not going to be made available on any streaming platform, so poor Polygon. But again, prior to today's announcement, Ghibli movies were only available to purchase on DVD or Blu-ray or through periodic theater revivals. So you're going to want to get HBO Max if you want to watch all of the Ghibli films. HBO Max launches in April 2020, and it's $15 a month. This podcast not sponsored by HBO. So for the bad,
and we wouldn't turn it aside, though, right?
No, hell no. For the bad, Johnny Cho, the man playing Spike in the upcoming live-action Netflix rendition of Cowboy Bebop, has been seriously injured during the production and filming of the show. It looks like it's a serious knee injury that he was immediately taken to Los Angeles for to have knee surgery performed. And he's gonna need to have extensive rehabilitation done after the surgery. And so they are delaying the release of the series by up to 9 months. So I'm guessing
the chat, boys.
I'm guessing he tore his ACL, maybe. A new filming schedule is expected to be announced after he learns how his prognosis is. They referred to it as a freak accident, as the scene was super well rehearsed, and they were filming the last take of the scene. So very unfortunate. And for the moe, and this one truly is bizarre. It looks like a Tokyo senior citizen got pissed off and has sought revenge on everybody, I guess.
What the fuck?
It's pretty funny.
By stealing 159 bicycle seats in some strange plot of revenge. Akio Hattori, a senior citizen living in Tokyo's Ota ward, one day he just wanted to go out for a cruise on his bicycle, but some asshole stole his bicycle seat, which is really hard to ride a bicycle, especially if you're old, without a seat on it. By the way, that is how I broke my wrist in college, by riding a bicycle without a seat on it. He bought a new seat, but of course, even after a full calendar season had elapsed, he was still pissed off and decided to take action by stealing almost 160 seats throughout Tokyo, and he was eventually caught on camera doing this and arrested by police, stating that, quote, "I wanted other people to feel what I had gone through, and I stole the seats as a form of revenge." Old man Akio Hattori going down in history as...
You get back at the thief by stealing all of them.
Listen, if you steal everyone's seat, mathematically, you have to have stolen it back from the thief. So he's just playing a numbers game.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. For those of you that don't know, when there's like news stories like this in Japan and they're talking about a crime or whatever, they will very neatly lay out the evidence to be shown on TV. So they had confiscated all of these, every single bicycle seat, and had arranged them in a perfect like a square grid of bicycle seats, arranged from according to their colors from lightest to darkest. It was hilarious. If you look online, you can find it. And I imagine that it probably took a pretty large surface area to actually lay out 160 bicycle seats, which with the post is not a small object. So I don't know what
this is Akio's world. We're just sitting in it.
You know what, Akio? Fuck them. You know, if some guy's gonna come steal your seat and make you feel bad, show them what's up. You know, just watch the whole world burn. I mean, I think that honestly, probably Miyazaki himself even is blushing at your level of just grumpiness. So, you know, I just can't. I don't know. Good on you. Good on you.
What a hero.
And I'm penciled in here for trivia as well, but I'm tired. Someone else do trivia.
Enzo,
Fine. Go. I will do the trivia.
Do it now. Do it now.
As you guys may know or may not know, if you're new listening, we have a website, aapodcast.com. And on that website, if you scroll all the way down, you will see a trivia question that we challenge you guys with every single week. The answer to last week's question is My Hero Academia.
That's right.
Congratulations to everyone that got that right.
About a billion people.
Winner, though, is Gurren Lager. So congratulations to you, my dude.
Yeah.
This month's overall winner is Nelly 1876, an OG true intellectual of our listener base. You know what I'm saying?
It must be my birthday.
The next theme we're going to be going with, if it's not already the theme, is scary anime.
Oh, yeah.
Because of, Spooktober, spooky time.
Spooktober, baby.
Spook time. But that's the stuff on the website. It'll change after this episode, so be sure to check out the new question and try and figure it out for next time when we read out the answer then. But for now, I'm going to hand it off to young Mandy, right?
Thanks, I got it. This is our in-show trivia question, which we will answer after the break. According to Mao, what is the most watched non-sequel anime from fall 2019? Think about it. Don't cheat. Don't go to Mao. Check it out.
Don't you cheat.
Don't cheat and don't watch Isekai Cheat Magician.
That's it. And we will answer it after the break.
Damn it, Mason.
Hey everybody, Mitsuki is here, and I'm bringing you a hot piping slice of your anime news. Well, everybody knows that recently the typhoon Hagibis was pretty destructive in Japan, and it has affected people and also the East Japan Railway, which may be forced to scrap up to 120 Shinkansen cars that were damaged in the floodwaters caused by the hurricane. Equipment and devices installed in the undercarriages of the train were waterproof, but when submerged fully in the water, engineers that have designed the trains really aren't quite sure if they will have survived the flooding or not. The cost to replace the train cars is said to be about $300 million as 120 cars, or about half of the fleet of the East Japan Railway of Shinkansens, has been damaged. For those of you that don't know what a Shinkansen is, it's a bullet train, and Typhoon Hagibis has been one of the worst and most destructive typhoons, probably the worst since 1958. And when Typhoon Ida came through, and the death toll is around 80 currently in Japan. So we wish Japan the best. Hurricanes are terrible, but we know that they'll bounce back quickly from this catastrophe. Next up, of course, we have some new anime being released and a new light novel called Slime Taoshite 300 nen shiranai uchi ni level max ni nattemashita, or I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level, is getting an anime adaptation. The synopsis: suddenly dying from overwork, salaryman Azusa Aizawa finds herself before an angel who allows her to reincarnate into a new world as an immortal witch, where she spends her days killing slimes for money and other eternal vacation. But even the minimal experience points from the slimes won't add up after hundreds of years, so she discovers that she accidentally reached the maximum level after a very long time. A little interesting twist on an isekai plot line, so we're going to be seeing this witch isekai coming out sometime next year. And next up, more anime releases. The light novel Majo no Tabi Tabi is getting an anime adaptation, which is literally Wandering Witch, the journey of Elena. Synopsis: once upon a time, there was a witch named Elena who set off on a journey across the world. Along the way, she would meet all kinds of people, from a country full of witches to a giant in love with his own muscles. But with each meeting, Elena would become a small part of their story, and her own world would get a little bit bigger. This is going to be done by Studio C2C, and it sounds like an episodic story about witches. So, although it looks beautiful in the promo art, so if you're interested in an interesting story about traveling and seeing random things around the world, look out for Majo no Tabi Tabi coming out pretty soon. And our last new anime coming out, probably the biggest of these, Kaguya-sama Love is War, is getting another season, a second season. So we pretty much all know Kaguya-sama, the sort of love-romance battle of mind games that was played between the members of the Shuchin Academy. So if you're a big fan of this anime, you will want to catch the sequel of Kaguya-sama Love is War coming out pretty soon. So I think we're all probably excited about that. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Guys, I know that you all love Kit Kats, and JList.com is bringing Kit Kats back to their website with a huge selection of different flavors for only $5 per bag. They have roasted green tea, strawberry, yuzu, chestnut, apple pie, Mount Fuji cheesecake, wasabi, rum and raisin, and so much more. And oh my God, the green tea Kit Kats are so good, they will blow your mind. I love them so much, and at a great price for $5 for a big bag of them, you just can't lose. So head over to JList or JBox.com right now and snag yourself some epically delicious Kit Kats. I know I will.
Oh yes! My queen!
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
Do they make reverse kotatsus? A kotatsu that is cooling instead of heating. Just be like, I'm just gonna sit underneath here and chill my balls, you know?
That's called a refrigerator.
Oh, yeah, I don't
It's
know.
called a refrigerator.
Putting my balls in your refrigerator.
Just open your refrigerator, stick your leg up on like the countertop with your balls just like hanging free.
One day you're gonna walk into your kitchen and you're just gonna see my bare ass sticking out of your fridge.
Your 14-year-old daughter comes home with her friend from school, and Dad is just sitting in the kitchen with his hairy ass and his balls hanging down in front of the fridge. Like, Dad, not again!
No, he's sitting on the floor in the living room, and he's brought the fridge with him, and he's like laid it down on top of his body.
Just chilling
Come,
himself.
let's sit around the reverse kotatsu together, children.
Oh, Lord's in heaven.
That would be amazing.
Can it be a father-son edition where the son is on a platform?
That's the advertisement.
And he's cooling his balls too in the freezer.
Right. Yes, exactly. And then you have the kid standing underneath.
So the dad's balls are hanging on top of the little kid.
They're not touching them.
It's kind of like an intimate tea bag.
Yeah, he's going under the bridge.
And now, back to the podcast.
Man, what a topical ad.
What a
Yeah.
wild one to have to do.
The kotatsu I built is in fact a reverse kotatsu,
Oh no.
as it does both heat and cool.
Your balls.
Anyway, before
Just
we
kidding.
left you with that
Yeah, I mean,
mesmerizing break.
Listen, I will I will go to great lengths to chill my balls. Okay.
Yeah.
And I recommend that all of you do it too.
I mean, that's why you moved to Denver, right?
Look, everybody's all worried about global warming. You know, global warming, oh my God, it's so terrible. There's no future for any of us. Listen, I'm telling you right now, there's a solution to the problem of the additional heat. You know, we all know the balls get sweaty. It's called a reverse kotatsu. Just chill your balls. Just chill them.
Yeah.
You could just get ice.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
that might hurt.
Yep.
Ice packs.
Ooh.
Good one.
Okay.
When we left you, we asked you this trivia question. According to my anime list, what is the most watched non-sequel anime from fall of 2019? And as of today, October 20th, the answer is now Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. Yeah, that one.
That one.
That
Yeah,
one.
that one.
It's a thing.
That one.
It's a thing, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you're going to be impressing it. Not this
Not today.
episode, correct? In the future.
That show makes me laugh so hard. I love it so far.
Yet to be seen.
I do not believe it had 3 episodes out yet, so.
That's correct.
All right.
But what is out? Let's get to the manga minute.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit.
Let's do it.
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandy.
This is Mandy's Manga Minute, where I take a minute to tell you about a manga and help you find something new to read. And this one is called PTSD Radio for Halloween season, because everything this season is going to be spooky.
That sounds pretty spooky.
Yeah, it is. And I don't have a synopsis for it, and you'll find out why when I describe it.
I just peed a little.
Okay, you might want to get a towel. PTSD Radio is a horror manga written and illustrated by Masaki Nakayama. There are currently 6 volumes available in English digitally. There's no printed volumes of this one. Radio is a pure horror. The chapters are very short and out of order. So imagine that you're watching television and you're flipping between channels. That's pretty much what this is like. Because sometimes you'll start a story and then you won't get more to that one till like later in the manga, and it's just constantly going back and forth. But there are no main characters also, or really much of a story. It's just a manga about curses and the horrors that come along with them. In the first volume, most of the stories revolve around a curse involving hair and people needing to shave their heads to avoid being pulled in or dragged away by said curse. A chapter in the very beginning of the manga, of course, will show up at the very end, and this can make it really hard to follow sometimes. Navigate, but the chapters involve some very horrifying and creepy imagery, and the art has more of a realistic style to it, sort of like Junji Ito stuff. So it's really perfect for Halloween season if you're interested in like a pure horror with just scares and creepy stuff. I definitely recommend it. But if you need more of a story, a solid story, and characters that you can like latch onto, then I don't really recommend this one to you, because there's not really much of any of that. It's pretty much just scary stuff.
I think the main character is the one like lady who like slowly like comes out the bottom of the page at the end of each like chapter to go after you.
Some of her expressions are really funny.
It's so goofy.
I know this should be scary, but it made me laugh. That expression.
When we say the chapters are short, they're like a couple pages, if that. They fly by.
Oh,
that's
shit.
literally me last night, guys.
Yeah, that's a pretty intense picture.
I'm so drunk.
That's literally my face last night.
Angela's just screaming at,
when my aunts were just forcing shots in me.
Yeah.
My family's wild. Goddamn.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And
good for Halloween.
Yeah.
You know what else is good for a scare? I'm not wearing pants right now, so I just want you guys to know that I don't recommend wearing pants at all at home. If you can get away with it, never wear pants at home, even when you have company.
I back it.
I think your lack of pants is like makes you the perfect demographics for Kotatsu.
Mm-hmm.
I would stand up and
maximum influence.
Listen, I'd stand up and show you my very well sculpted buns, but I think that would probably isn't that like not allowed on Twitch anymore? You can't be
I don't know if that was ever.
Stay.
No butts.
No butts allowed. Wow.
No butts allowed today.
A world with no butts is not a world that I really want to live in, but okay. I guess I'm going to have to deal with it. All right, well, we're going to do mailbags today, guys. We're going to do some mailbag catch-up, and before we get to that, I want to mention, I do encourage everybody that's listening live to follow us on Twitch. So we are trying to increase our audience on there, so be sure you follow if you like our podcast and you haven't done so yet.
But before that, we have a very special waifu segment.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or I guess we could do that.
In the game of waifus, you either win or you are late to anime school. Cake will be thrown, ice cold tea will be served. Who will be top in the class and who will be flunked in Mason's waifu wars?
I was gonna let it slide, but I guess the people want to know.
Listen, I'm old. I'm old as shit.
This one's special. We have to do this one.
Yeah, this one.
I forget
it's
things
maybe
easily.
a bit obvious, but you can't pass it up. So people often say it's what's on the inside that counts. but I prefer to say it's what's on the inside that haunts.
Ooh.
For in these verified code red 2 spooky times, you should be panicking, as I regret to inform you that there is already a skeleton inside you at this very moment.
That's fucked
It's
up.
true.
So
I think about that all the time.
you
That's
should be
fucked up.
very concerned. That said, if you can come to accept that, then you can learn to accept and love our husbando this week.
It's a lie.
The bag of bones who has nothing to hide except his crippling anxiety in trying to help those who can't speak Japanese.
No.
That's right. The pick for our third October episode is none other than the titular Honda from Skullface bookseller Honda-san. In fact, Catherine in our social media department, I guess, has been posting frightening images from the show all month.
We have
As
a whole
well-
department.
Oh, good
Exactly.
old
What could be
Catherine.
more scary to get into Halloween than the nightmare world of working in retail?
Oof.
So this is based off a web manga by Honda himself, though literally I'm assuming he's not a skeleton. And
We
it's a
don't know.
fall 2018 adaptation by Studio DLE, which is haven't done much. They're kind of done like a lot of kid shows and stuff. But essentially it packs the experience of working in a Japanese bookstore in like tidy 11-minute episodes. The show is a breeze to watch, and it perfectly straddles the line between providing insight to the industry while also providing comedy in the form of over-the-top voice acting and reaction images. I'm a sucker for workplace shows, and getting a peek behind the curtain to see the machinery at work is fascinating. Learning about bookstores, how they interact with publishers, scheduling and ordering of the bonus material, worrying about street dates, loading and like management of all the stock, like all that I find super interesting. And since one of my favorite things to do in Japan is to visit bookstores, I have a better appreciation for all the things that I wouldn't have normally considered. The comedy mainly comes through whenever the booksellers have to deal with the customers who are searching for all sorts of wacky literature, from like a grandfather who's seeking a doujinshi for his
Special
granddaughter.
yaoi book.
Oh yeah, special yaoi book
Special yaoi book.
to like the army of like boys love fanatics. There's just so many weird people that come in that is so distressing for our boy, because the heartless heart of our show is our precious boy Honda. His efforts and personality are so wholesome, like you can't help but feel endeared to him. He's voiced by Saito Soma, who did the voice of Yamaguchi in Haikyuu, and I think more relevant, he did Doppio in JoJo Part 5. So
Yeah.
he like perfectly captures those lovable characters who are always in a bit of an awkward situation. For you see, Honda is super anxious when it comes to dealing with customers, especially when things get hectic, or he has to communicate with foreigners. Since his English isn't the best, like each conversation becomes this monumental effort of trying to decipher their requests, and watching him try his best is just adorable.
Sounds like reality.
Exactly. It feels very grounded despite being over the top, because despite the everyday setbacks and troubles he has, at the end of the day, he expresses like satisfaction in his efforts, and he just has this feel-good, optimistic vibe that in turn lifts your spirits, which is not bad for a day's work for a skeleton.
And Mason relates to this when one episode has a guy go in there looking for shoujo and just buys Berserk instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Mason show. He related
God,
super hard to it.
This Skullface bookseller Honda-san and Miss Koizumi Loves Ramen are like the two shorts from last year that were like 100% in my strike zone, and I love them both. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check out Honda-san. It's a fun show.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Now, let's do some mailbags.
Now it's time for some mailbags. I don't know where I'd be without you guys, for real.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
No dancing allowed.
Anime. Anime.
Boo.
That just makes me want to dance even more.
I just thought Millie Rock in there for a second. Not gonna lie. Oof.
All right. So once again, guys, if you want to leave a mailbag, you can do it on the website, aaapodcast.com. So leave us a mailbag, and we will get to it on the podcast. First mailbag is from long-term listener Yotaru Vegeta, who writes, if an apparel company was putting out a very obscure or classic shirt, what anime would you choose, and what would be on that shirt? Interesting.
Oh, there's just a severe lack of Beck anything. So I would, for
That's
fuck's
true.
sake, I just want one shirt with like
The dog.
the dog, or like just Koyuki doing the thing, or like the shot of them when they're like in the OP, like the silhouette where they're watching the plane. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a Beck shirt, man. Like
how
an
about-
official Beck shirt.
How about because the dog has like a weird stitching on him, doesn't he? He's like two different dogs, kind
Is he
of.
wearing pants?
Yeah, so like he's weird. So you could have
I
like
remember.
you could have
weird,
you
yeah.
could have the front half of the dog coming out of the front of the shirt with his front legs, and then you could have the back half of the dog coming out of the back of the shirt with his hind legs.
Yeah, just his butt on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cute.
That'd be
I
cute.
love that.
Yeah, that'd be cute. But yeah, that's kind of that's really it. I've always wanted. I don't have any Beck merch. I really only have a sticker of Beck the dog on my laptop. That's really all I got.
Personally,
and the DVD. I have the DVDs too.
Personally, I don't really wear anime stuff too much, but I might wear something from Akira maybe. That's pretty classic. I think that the pill on the back of Kaneda's shirt is pretty cool. I wear that while I ride my sport bike around. So that'd be pretty neat. I feel just like
you could
Kaneda.
definitely find that. I definitely
yeah.
think those exist out there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah, if I go look right now, I bet I can find it.
Yeah, so I was like, I need something that like would not exist at all without me like making it happen. So my pick was for Kuchu Barranco or Trapeze, because that could be like a super wild off the wall shirt that people would just be like, that's just a zany shirt and not
It
know
just
it's...
end up having the nurse on it.
no, anything but that.
that would just be
my
the only thing on
nightmare.
the shirt. Her looking super sexy.
Oh man, what a nightmare. Please.
What
no.
a nightmare.
What a nightmare. Mandy, what would you want?
I went Mononoke shirt with like Kusuriri on it, but like in a super like ukiyo-e style, like I don't know, very artsy. And also Mason teased me with a shirt that he was like, look, this looks like it's right up your alley. And it was from Uniqlo, and it was like a Hisoka shirt, but it just had like the spider
It had
tattoo
the
on the back
spider
falling off.
and then like a
And a
Hisoka like
card.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, you're right. I'm gonna buy it. It's like Australia, we don't ship overseas. I was like, fuck.
That's bullshit.
Australia fans, where are you? Send me my shirt.
That's such
Send Mandy the thing.
that's such
Buy it for me. I will get a PO box just for the shirt.
that's such bullshit. Like if you're willing to
Help.
pay, if you want to pay the $30 to have a shirt sent overseas, then let someone do it. Like who gives a shit?
I wouldn't pay $30.
It's just administrative logistical shit that they don't want to deal with, man.
Well, you know what? I don't like it.
It would
You know
be
what?
s-
You know
it'd
what I
be
also
so
would
cool
want?
if we had a PO box, but then we would need so many of them for different people. That'd be
I know.
amazing.
Help.
We would need like 4 of them, which is not ideal. I want Beck guitar picks. How about that?
Go on Etsy, man. You can
Success.
you can probably
Yeah.
find someone that would literally make you a custom guitar pick with the Beck stuff on it.
Yeah, I could
In
probably
fact, I
do them
guarantee
myself,
it.
too.
You can find anything on Etsy. That's the point, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Next mailbag.
This comes from Ein Ikumen, Ohio AAA overlords.
Oxynos.
What do you think USA continues to fail at in adaptations?
Oh.
The only success I can think of might be Day After Tomorrow. That was a good one, actually.
It was.
However, this might be answering my own question. It was adapted from literary work and might be the most easily adapted source. But I think anime and manga already does the hard work and therefore should be easier to adapt by following the formula that already succeeded in the USA market. For example, I'd kill to watch a gritty Vash the Stampede or a season of Ein's Antics, the best Cowboy Bebop character ever, secondary to Spike. Oof, F again in the chat.
That's
Point
in the
is,
chat.
why does Hollywood F it up every time?
Complicated
don't know.
question.
I don't want to concede to think that it'd be simple to adapt, even if the anime manga did a good even if the anime already did a good job adapting. There's so many little things that like animation that in animation is just it's just something you do and we take for granted that can't just be done in live action. So it just is difficult no matter what. The base level of this action is just hard to do.
Well,
oh shit, Mason, you literally said the same thing.
Yeah, I was
Oh my god.
if it's a really good manga or something, and like you're like, oh, the visuals are set up, the scenes are set up, the framing is set up, you just copy that. But it almost would make things like too restrictive in terms of like the creativity. I mean, they can't all be like Watchmen, like that animation of the comic book. That was like a shot for shot remake, and that was probably way more difficult to do because they were trying to match it so much than just being like, this is the shot where the two characters face off.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that even Japan puts out a pretty long list of bad adaptations. So, I mean, there's plenty of these. So.
Right. Like in my most recent memory, the Attack on Titan live action, like my dudes, it's not good. Like
I saw that in theaters with my sister.
It's not good. It was something. Like they made a thing, right? But so it's not like USA has this problem. It's like literally anime is a medium where like ideas can be expressed so vividly and wildly, right? And manga as well. And you can't really just capture that that imagination expanse in live action. So it's like it's just hard. It's just really hard to translate that vision to reality. That's why, a lot of studios default to trying to ground the content into something different that we can relate to so that it's easier for our brains to intake. But then if you don't do that and you do the Attack on Titan approach where you like actually make CG Titans, then your brain's like, yeah, that's not fucking real. So you don't buy it. So it's like it's really fucking hard. I don't think it's just a USA problem. For us though, to tackle the USA part, it is a culture difference sometimes. It's a huge deal. Yeah, so
it needs to have the budget.
The trick here is to give it to Korea. Every time Korea takes something, they make it really good. Old Boy, the Korean movie of Old Boy is so good.
It's so freaking good.
They absolutely did the shoujo manga Absolute Boyfriend. They made a drama of that.
Well, Korean
give it to Korea.
works tend to be like way more patient. Like they definitely take their time. Like they definitely have a different appeal to them. So that's not a bad idea. In the chat, Icy Rose is talking about like Urasawa stuff and Black Lagoon would both make good adaptations. And Captain Avatar talks about Noir as it being a good live action thing. But I think at the end of the day, it's not the source material that's the problem. It's just budgeting and
budgets.
The biggest problem is the cultural gap. Like anime is becoming more popular, but it's still not super mainstream, and it needs to have the budget. And so you got to convince the higher ups to lay that down, and to convince them, it needs to have market recognition, and not very many anime do. So when you make like, I don't know, name an anime that's super well known. I mean, and to me, a show like Monster or something, which was just mentioned in Twitch, is like a pretty well known anime that a lot of people know of. But if you were to put out a movie of Monster, nobody would know what that is. And so it's tough to convince anybody to take the risk. It's all about risk, right? To lay that money down. And then what's more, the creators have to do a good job. Like we're seeing what's happening with Sonic the Hedgehog right now, and it's happened before with lots of other anime. It's like the creators have to adapt it correctly because the fans, anime fans and game fans, get really pissed off when you screw stuff up. To the point where like they're redoing the whole damn Sonic movie just to redo Sonic's design. It's wild, but that movie was gonna crash and burn because everybody was mad before it even came out. So, in some ways, you really can't blame them for not wanting to make tons of adaptations of shows when people are so ready to just burn you to the ground over small things.
Edge of Tomorrow also changed the title of the movie from All You Need Is Kill to Edge of Tomorrow. That one did pretty decently though.
Much better title. It did. Like
the cast had
wasn't it called Live Die Repeat? Wasn't that the original?
No, it's All You Need Is Kill.
Yeah.
The manga.
I don't know. To me, I think that like there's a lot of the best adaptations are Ghost in the Shell, probably, which honestly wasn't a super financial success. Even that, like even ScarJo couldn't make that movie like a hit.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like
in terms of aesthetics, like that movie nails the aesthetics in terms of live action. Like that's as close as you're gonna get, like to have a wild thing adapted without losing too much of its wildness. Like that's as close as you're gonna get. Story, some changes there, but like that's as good as it's gonna look. And it's ScarJo, and we still didn't fucking do it. So
yeah, and Edge of Tomorrow like made a narrow profit, and that's an action movie with Tom Cruise. So like,
yep.
I mean, it's just not easy. So
yeah. So I guess in conclusion, money and risk.
I think people people are looking at the Avengers and Marvel stuff, and they're going, "Why can't anime do that?" And there's just like a whole cultural divide behind that. So people are dialed in on. I mean, Marvel could make literally like. Marvel could take the least popular character in their whole universe and make a movie, and it would still be a hit. So, I mean, literally. So, whatever.
So our next mailbag is from Gushweld. I think that's how you say the name. I'm not sure. I could be. I
It
apologize
looks like it.
Gushweld.
if I mispronounced that.
Gushweld.
Gushweld. They say, "How do you feel about music anime like Carol on Tuesday or Given?" And this is definitely an Enzo question.
Yeah,
For sure. I see you wrote a lot here, so you should do your thing.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I like both of those shows, both Given and Carol on Tuesday. Given focuses more on the drama than the music, though, and Carol on Tuesday started off focusing on music, then switched to drama later on in like the second half of it. But which is fine. I think for me, I just want music anime to have like a decent amount of original music and that it matches the theme of the show. Like Kono Oto Tomare started off very we didn't get Koto music for a really long
like
time.
5 episodes.
Yeah, and I was like really frustrated with it. I'm like, I signed up for Koto music. Where's my Koto music?
Yeah.
And I talked about Nitabo, the movie in Hobby Addicts in the past, and that was a movie about a man who travels around and plays shamisen. But the weird thing in that is that the like dramatic moments of the movie were like a full orchestra, and I was like, should you have shamisen music in here? So that threw me off. I was like, I feel like that should have like really fast shamisen music. But
yeah,
that's those two. I mean, I like Kono Oto. Nitsubo, not so much.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think that's all my standards are.
I love them generally because it's a little biased because as someone who plays music, I like to see how an artist's vision of that looks like, just in general. Like I want to see like, okay, this is an anime about, let's just say there's an anime about a boy that plays guitar, right? Just in general. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I wonder what they think that looks like, or I wonder what they think goes into that. I wonder how they express the feeling of playing is to them through how they show it in the anime or whatever. So that's in general why I will always seek out a music anime, but also because I think music is this weird like it's people will say it's like the universal language, right? Like you could listen to music and you could understand not a single word of lyrics, but like it'll still hit you if it hits you because music is just that. It just does that. It's just frequencies that ring true. Yeah, you just vibe with it. It's frequencies that ring true to you no matter what the fuck they're saying, if it's just your thing. So to me, music is a really interesting like instrument, no pun intended, in to use to tell stories with, because you can write so many different kinds of stories with music being like the base of it all, and somehow you can relate it to so many things because of the nature of music in itself. So that's why you'll see a lot of you can have music in very dramatic shows like Beck, which is like a slice of life character study, or like Nana, which is like a lot of like friendship, romance, drama. But you could also see music in a more like comedy setting, like in Norame Cantabile, which is like a college anime with like a more lighthearted, like romancy feel. Or in like K-On, which is like the light music club and four girls being cute as heck. So it's a really cool like thing to use as a common ground between characters, because to play music in a way where you enjoy, you have to be vulnerable. When characters are vulnerable in expressing how they're feeling through music, you can get really good character moments, right? So and you see that Carol and Tuesday episode 1 is like exhibit A of recent times in the music anime. It's like episode 1, these two girls know each other, but they both play music and they immediately connect through that music, whether they hate each other or not, right? So it's just a good window into someone's soul. I think Kids on the Slope does a good job of that too. Where like there's one guy who plays classical, one guy who's a jazz guy, but music is music, and they find that middle ground and they both end up playing together. So that's why I think music anime is really special. It's very niche. I also get frustrated when people don't give me the music. Like K-On is cute, but like fuck, they never really play a damn show. So
they
like
play a couple.
I'll get barely, dude.
Yeah, there's death metal.
They play when they play live. Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, no, as I think I like them just because it's a good writing thing you could use to get characters to be vulnerable with each other. So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Okay. Next up.
Oh, this one comes in from Cynthia, and they say, recently discovered Dinosaur King on Netflix for my kids to watch. I got to thinking, what anime would you recommend for preteens other than Pokemon, obviously?
Preteens? How old is a preteen?
Preteen is 12.
Before you're a teenager.
Yeah, before you're a teenager. So 12
like,
and under.
But no. Preteen doesn't refer to like 7-year-olds.
Preteen is literally 12.
11 and 12 years old.
You guys, you're both correct. You're both correct.
Yeah.
Literally, preteen is anybody from
Under
0
12.
to 12. But
Yeah.
conceptually, it would probably be from like 8 to 12.
From the moment someone's like consciously aware that they're alive to 12.
Well, listen.
Preteens.
Yeah.
Well, listen. There's a billion shows, and it's kind of tough to answer without knowing the taste of the person that we're recommending for. But I still think Mugen Wakusei Survive is a virtually unwatched good show for kids, kind of a survival alien planet type show. Sports shows of most types are really good. Get kids to be active, which, let's face it, not enough of that at all lately. Like probably kids are probably less active now than ever in human history. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Haven't watched some Haikyuu.
Yeah.
Every time I see a kid they're on a tablet or an iPhone.
Ever, dude.
No, for real. I'm being dead serious. Like literally. You go to
That's a bummer, man.
I was in IKEA the other day, and there's kids in the carts and stuff. And what are they doing? They're like they're not even aware they're in IKEA. They're just glued in. It's wild. I think people.
To be fair, IKEA as a kid.
It was actually me. I was in the cart.
Man, even we were kids, we didn't have games at all. Like we had like Mario.
Think for yourself. That's all I did.
The same. I mean, well, you weren't taking your games to the store unless it was a Sega.
Oh, I took my
Game
Boy
Gear.
everywhere.
Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
But
anyway,
I think I'm with you, Mitz, on the sports anime.
Yeah.
Because I think one of my earliest memories was in Peru. Before I even knew what anime was, I was a kid in Peru. I was maybe like 8 or 7, and great captain. What's his name? Great captain, the soccer anime, Captain Tsubasa.
Captain Tsubasa.
Yeah, Captain Tsubasa. Yeah. I was watching Captain Tsubasa in Peru as a kid. And I was so fucking hyped, man. It's just so cool to see people battling it out, and something that in sports, aren't a super far-fetched concept when you're watching them on the screen. Like you get that they're playing a game, right? They're playing a thing. They're playing a sport. And it's cool because in Captain Tsubasa, they have like special crazy moves. Actually, do they? No, Tsubasa has a kick,
Tsubasa's
right?
off the wall.
Yeah, Tsubasa's off the wall. But like, I was thinking like something, older, an anime like Kuroko no Basket. It seems corny, but as a kid, dude, it's probably like DBZ for real. Like as a
hey, I still think it's crazy. What are you trying to say?
Basket is for children and children alone.
Yeah, Kuroko no Basket is for children.
I am a child.
Only. Okay, Mandy.
Go back to your tablet and let us talk about.
Oh shit!
Fuck all y'all.
But yeah, I think a good sports anime that can be a little ridiculous could be a fucking great watch for a kid because the concepts aren't wild and they still get that like competitive fire that's good to feel when you're watching a thing, So, I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure don't really know a lot of like cutesy type stuff, so I don't know if you guys know anything in that general area.
I said Polar Bear Cafe because it's
cool. Actually, cool.
Animals.
Very
Kids love animals.
A whole bunch of aminals.
And Cheese Sweet Home. But also, I think you can get through with like Lucky Star, Azumanga, K-On. I know those are all like probably obvious answers, but
true. But they're all good answers. Well,
yeah,
maybe
there's lots of stuff out there.
Lucky Star would be. I put that more in my answer to a future mailbag, so we'll get to that. But
yeah.
Nice. I see, Mandy, you put down Ghibli films too, and I think that's a great answer.
Hell yeah.
Also. Yeah, Ghibli. Yeah, they're very obvious. I was trying to think of something more creative than the obvious, like, Cardcaptor, Sakura.
Pretty cool.
I mean, that's what we had, right? So
Yeah, that's what I watched. Yeah.
it works, and we turned out just fucking great.
Kind of. I mean, I just have a dick light, but
Yeah.
A dick light.
Side effects of these recommendations include purchasing a dick light in the future. So
yeah, and obsession with Kuroko no Basket.
yeah.
Give me that dick
True
light.
tragedy. Yeah, just look at the top 20 most popular shows from that we talked about earlier. I mean, it's all shonen, a little bit of action, some sports. Like that's fine starting point.
Ooh, laid back camp. Yes, dude.
Yeah, that's good.
That came from Hero. I can't read my. I
Hiroyu.
135.
Hiroyu.
We love you.
We love you. That's
Fine.
it.
Yeah.
Finally, I really think that the best shows for kids are probably like Shigurui, Ninja Scroll.
Yeah.
It's maybe
Blade of the Immortal.
Prison School would be perfect.
Prison school for sure.
Yeah. Magical
How
Twilight,
to not summon a demon lord.
Oni Chi
Yes.
Rebirth. You know, you gotta get in there with that.
Udo Suki Doji. Yeah.
Otosuki Doji,
Oh, man, that's it.
Angel
Onichichi
Cup.
Rebirth.
Yeah, Oni
Since I
Chi
don't look
Rebirth.
these up, please.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Not that I want more of my future kids to come back, pick him up from school, sit him down, and watch some Onichichi Rebirth.
I'm scared right now. He's like, oh, these.
And you know
okay,
what?
I'll check these out.
And you know what? Screw it. Just to prepare your kid for going to convenience stores, how about like the hentai no kombini? You know, like that's a pretty good show. Like you know, you just for those of you that really just want to know what truly happens in the back storerooms of convenience stores, I'm telling you right now, it's wild shit, people.
It's a wild hentai.
It's friggin' wild. Okay. All
Oh
right.
my god.
You said it was a hentai. You ruined it.
Why did we end up recommending hentai at the end of this kid-related question?
Because it's me.
Fuck.
Because it's me.
Because Mitz is here.
Because it's me, baby.
True.
Yeah, baby. Okay.
True.
Next one is from I Said No Tomato. God damn it. Just kidding. That's not actually in there, but I added that. Mitsugi, since I think you know the most Japanese out of the hosts, does understanding the language impact how much you dislike an OP or an ending? And I said, Mason may know more at this point. It definitely knows more kanji. So, but now that I've said that, I definitely doesn't matter to me at all. I mean, a lot of OPs and endings are in English anyway, or are generally written for the anime they're made for, and therefore their lyrics aren't just generally not too deep, or you know. I mean, even like Hunter x Hunter, which I love, like there's like many English phrases in there, and the whole song is it's just like happy chipper, like you can do it,
you can try,
you can try, you can smile. Like, I mean, come on,
you can smile.
Like really,
and then
doesn't anybody care?
Killua shows up. Oh,
So it doesn't really matter.
Watch it again.
Ask
We need to wrap this shit up.
What have I done?
I made myself happy.
What have I done?
As someone who can like only understand like 20% of Japanese being spoken around him, I personally don't think it impacts how much I like or dislike an OP, because I'm there for music, really. Like if the music's there and the lyrical melody is really well done in the music, then I'm all in, baby. I just if the lyrics are cool, then they're cool, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
All you need is the word fire.
Yes.
Yes, as
Fire.
2 seasons ago taught us.
Fire.
But yeah, definitely it makes more of a difference in watching the actual show more than the OP and EDs, because then you see the little quirks that do or don't get translated. But for the music, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah. All right, next up
is from Jolu.
Jolu
Asks, what shows would you say is innocent enough to keep a children watching and dark enough to keep the adult interested, like a children's show with dark humor in it? So I kind of bundled this question and the previous one into one. And
They're very similar.
if you're equating like interest from adults, like as if they need a dark like topic, I think that's a little off the mark. But as far as like good kid shows that have like some darker moments, or I should say good shows that have dark moments but would still be enjoyed by children, I figured Noragami, Hunter x Hunter, Suritama, Eureka 7.
Yeah.
And if they're like, you want them to go to bed, maybe Girls Last Tour. Also, the Penguin Highway movie is pretty fun and adorable.
Yeah, show your kid Hunter x Hunter and teach them that there is a child in this that rips someone's heart out and hands it back to them.
There's no way a children.
That's a great thing to show your kids. Yeah.
After 100 episodes, they'll be ready.
They'll
for
just forget it.
It starts off slow.
Hmm.
They'll just go over their head.
I would say
Sure.
I would say maybe like Made in Abyss.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I
one.
don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think you could do it, fam. I think you
At
could
the
do it.
end?
I think you could do it.
Oh yeah.
I think episode 10 is kind of wild, but like
He's sticking to it, damn it.
Enzo is just trying to fuck up your children.
I'm
Yeah,
just
he's
trying
trying
to
to
get
fuck
into
him up real
therapy early,
bad.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just get to therapy early. Yeah.
I want to throw the Shin-Chan dub out there. The Shin-Chan dub is
Fun choice.
it's a lot like SpongeBob in the sense that there are clearly sexual and funny like adult humor jokes in there that are over the head of children. So Shin-Chan still has like the cute animation. It's still got little kids in it, so your kids like that. It's got little fun animals in it. There's enough humor in it for kids, but then there's like the mom and dad. There's jokes about like mom and dad. Oh, mom and dad are getting along. They're gonna get a divorce, and then there's a lot of hilarious. Like I remember watching Shin-Chan when I was like 17, 18, and I was dying laughing. But the dub is completely rewritten. It's just they spoofed the shit out of that show, but it's hilarious. So Shin-Chan, and it's long too. God, there's like hundreds of episodes. So if your kid loves it, you
Watch Psyche K.
teach your kid.
I was thinking of Hunter x Hunter again. Try to explain to your kids Hisoka's entire moan sequence.
Yeah, he gets
He's just really excited to fight right now.
he gets
Exactly.
Ahe
That's how
Gaold.
he greets his friends.
Yeah. It's his friend.
You go to school the next day like, I'm not even gonna do it. I was about
I was
to
waiting for
straight
it.
up
I
moan
was
on the
here
mic,
for
baby.
I said Natsume Yujin I think because there are some kind of spooky moments in it, but I think Nyanko Sensei is very attractive for kids.
Very true.
But yeah, there's also some darker themes in there. The eccentric family as well, I think, and Mob Psycho maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think Mob Psycho would be pretty
I was
dope.
trying to think of ones like kids might actually also enjoy, but yeah, those are good. I like those.
Kids would enjoy the eccentric family. That says
I
bunch
don't
of
know.
tanukis. They're so cute.
They'll get distracted. They like won't enjoy it for what the show is. They'll just be like, cute animals. Which
What
I
about-
guess
Yeah,
is
that's
good
what
enough
kids
for all of
want.
us.
What about, I guess One Punch Man doesn't really have a dark type thing going on.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea either.
One Punch Man, no.
No, that's good. That's good.
All
Anyway,
right. Next up.
moving on.
The next one is from Craftimus. So I had just had lunch with the man, the myth, the Mitsuki himself. And it made me think of this question. If you could eat a meal from any anime...
That's just for me.
Oh, excluding Ghibli, what anime would you choose and what would you eat? I said the pizza and silver spoon looked super good.
It did look fucking good.
And pretty much everything in Dokuhodo.
That
yeah.
that cow and silver spoon looked like a snack.
That's a snack.
What about the what was his name? Pork bowl?
Pork bowl?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the pig.
Butadon.
Yeah, he looked real good.
Yeah, Raku
Katsu
Hodo
don.
has some great food as well.
Yeah,
like you said.
Dokuhodo. They had that what is it called? The like where you have like salmon and rice and you pour green tea over it. Ochu I can't remember what it's called.
That's I know what
Ochuzake
you're
or
talking
something
about.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That looked really good.
that looks so good.
Good looking food.
But the guys in that show look like a snack too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also take the guys. Thanks.
With a side of guys, please.
Yeah. Mhm.
There's
so my answer.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I posted a link below. Food Wars has a shitload of good looking food in it, and I posted a link to like the 12 most delicious looking dishes or whatever from Food Wars, and some of this stuff is pretty absurd. Eggs, they got eggs Benedict, fried rice, souffle omelets, duck katsu curry, onigiris, beef katsudon. There's just all kinds of stuff in here, and it all looks just shiny and gorgeous, and
It really does.
so damn hungry. So
I'm not gonna click that link. Otherwise,
It's wild good.
I know what'll happen. I'll just get hungry again.
Yeah, I'll go with Mitts on this one. I think that Food Wars link just made me. I was gonna go with a very like the food in Spirited Away when like the parents are eating.
Can't do Ghibli though. He said no Ghibli.
Oh, you said excluding Ghibli. Never
Oh
mind.
shit,
yeah.
man! Follow the rules,
So
yo.
I'm definitely gonna go with Food Wars too because that shit looks good as heck.
Yeah.
I love the episode with the karage. I was like, damn, it looks so good.
Right?
The
So
karage like wraps they make.
Oof.
I figured Food Wars is too obvious to pick, so I picked 3 shows. I picked Torika, if you like the beefy man going around exploring worlds to eat food. There's so many just like unbelievably unrealistic food that I want to try out of that. Kofuku Graffiti is probably like the most aesthetic food outside of Food Wars. That's a great show. And also kind of adjacent to Silver Spoon is Moyashiman, where they make the kiwiak, which is the most disgusting thing.
No,
in the
it looks
world.
awful. Stop
But I
it,
want to
please.
try it because it looks so odd. It's really like they ferment like 50 birds and like a seal carcass.
And then you gotta eat out of its anus, don't you?
I don't
Baby,
think
that
so.
sounds
I think
good.
They just cut it. I think they just cut it open and.
I swear that's what they said in the show.
Well, I think that's
You like
one way
suck
to
it
do
out
it. Yeah,
of the bird.
yeah. It's
As gross as fuck.
it's a trip, but I'm not going to go.
Give me
all the
that
way to
anus.
Greenland just for that. So if I could just magically make that happen, thank you very much.
I will let you test it and rate it for us.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, give us a book report.
Yeah.
Anything else here, guys? No.
No,
Next-
food's good.
Next mailbag.
Next one is from Cynthia once again. Thanks for writing in twice, my dude. Is there a show that you originally failed dropped and after 5 to 10 episodes you went back to and after 5 to 10 episodes is there a show you failed but went back to and eventually loved it? For me it was Black Clover, which going back to after dropping it after 10 episodes is now the show I can't wait for every week. Went from 1 out of 5 to a 4.5 out of 5. Damn, fam.
I don't
Listen.
believe you.
Well, first of all, I also don't believe you, Cynthia. But
I'm just a ball of hate. Once I've dropped something, I don't go back to it.
I don't think I also have done this where I dropped something and then went back to it. Most of the time, I don't have. But before the podcast, I would watch everything. So like I didn't. Well, I was also a lot more. I was less busy in college, so I would watch anything and everything all the way through. Now because I'm so fucking busy and my life is chaos, as my fellow hosts unfortunately know. When I do decide to drop something, it kind of stays perma dropped because I'd rather start a new thing if I ever have the time to bring in more anime into my life. So, yeah.
I dropped Chihaya Furu initially after like 2 episodes, and then I went back and it's like, this is fucking awesome.
Oh, thank God.
The first 2 episodes were a lie.
A lie.
Yep, very much.
They're all a big lie. And Lucky Star. I hated the first couple episodes of Lucky Star. And then someone told me, oh, trust me, it gets better.
Was that someone me?
It might have been. Yeah, it may have been you.
Actually, I almost dropped Haikyuu before episode 5 because I thought like nothing was happening. But I didn't end up dropping it. But I was so close to being like, damn, this show, nothing fucking happens in this show. But now it's one of my favorites of all time. So heck.
I dropped Gurren Lagann after like 5 episodes.
Good call.
The first time I watched it, I thought it was highly overrated.
I
And
almost
went
dropped it.
back and I enjoyed it. I was definitely a guy who liked the second half of it more. So
Same.
I'm glad that happened. I also dropped Little Witch Academia, the TV show, pretty early, and everyone gave me crap for it. And I went back and tried it again, and it was even worse, and I dropped it again.
Nice.
The double drop, baby.
The double drop. That's how you know it's bad news.
Bad news bears when you drop it not
Yeah,
once,
hell
but
yeah.
twice.
All right, next mailbag is from Anon, who writes, will you be celebrating 500 episodes in a special way? And I really don't know. Like, it's coming up, but I just don't know what to
Coming
do.
up real quick.
I don't know what to do, to be honest.
We'll have a meeting about it.
Also, does Mason get an avatar on the About page of the website, which he already
He has
has?
one.
He has one already, so.
Yeah. Welcome to the future.
Yeah, welcome to the future. All right, next up.
Next one is from Cork Mars, who says, I have a very simple request. I would like all the hosts to compliment my number one husbando. What is everyone's favorite thing about Enzo Senpai?
Oh!
As difficult as it may be to pick just one thing, it's what the people want.
He's just so
Cork
handsome.
Mars's favorite part is when Enzo talks about being the youngest and does that evil baby laugh.
Oh, do
LOL.
it. Do that baby laugh. Is that it? Was that the baby laugh?
Did he live up to your expectations of him?
Sounds like Wario.
He says, much love to all the hosts. So
I
Missy,
said
what-
you are playing with fire. Don't increase his ego even more.
I said,
No, validate me more.
listen. I said, Enzo's got a great sense of style. He helped me pick out some pretty cool stuff when I was in New York City last time. New shoes and glasses, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
I think Randy's trying to delete this entire topic before
He's aight.
we had time to respond. I said that Enzo has such a calming presence on the mic. He's always making sure that everyone gets a word in, and he's got such this essence of being a team player. And he's super go with the flow. He's so positive. He's such a bad dancer. I mean, good dancer.
Oh, he's dancing right now. Oh shit, he's doing the robot. He's doing the damn robot, people.
Mitz, this is literally the Millie Rock, you old man.
What the hell is the Millie Rock?
He's so hip. He's so with it. He's so 2020. Y'all are living in the past. He is in the zone. He balances us out so well, and without him, we'd be a bunch of old fogies.
I like that he plays along with my jokes because the other two will not.
Ooh.
Yeah, baby. I'm here to do it.
See,
all.
you did this. You did. Now we have to put up with this for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Is this my tea time from Fire Emblem where you can just take pictures of me for the whole time?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Staring to
Fire-
the distance.
Line them up.
Yeah, but what kind of tea did we give you? Did we give you the
Mango oolong.
We gave him the
that was the
anti-hangover
tea?
tea. That's
was
what
the
we
tea
needed.
that
present
unlocked-
do we give you?
You gave me a ramen coupon.
The ramen coupon? That was.
That's all it takes, my dude.
I found this dropped in our academy somewhere. Here, take it.
Here's this coupon I found on the floor. Wow,
Yeah.
I love you. My motivation
Yeah.
is maxed out.
Man, I hate those tea times so much.
They're so
Like
awkward.
the answers are so like obnoxiously like vague. And
Yeah.
they're like, what do you like about this thing? And it's like laugh, yes or nod. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Which one do I
Anyway.
choose?
Korkmar is my dude. Thank you so much for the question.
Oh, yeah.
I am truly flattered.
Was it a question? More like a demand.
Thank you for the demand.
Below,
As
he
it was
just writes,
very appreciated by
compliment
me.
Enzo because it looks like he needs it and doesn't get them elsewhere.
I need all the validation I can get.
Big
my dude.
ouch.
All right, next mailbag.
Next one is from Elaine's Insane. Sorry. Oh, Mitsugi.
Oh,
I decided
Mitsuki.
to watch La Maison en Petit Cube. And wow, it was touching.
Oh, I'm
I noticed
touching
in
myself.
some of the YouTube comments, people felt bad for him, and I was happy that this man, but I was happy about this man and his life, his full life. Sorry, I got so mixed up because I'm still laughing. I felt happy for this man and his full life. What a pleasure to have so much to look back on. But I worry about his future. They're in his tiny little house. You can only build up for so long. Then what?
Shit. You die.
It's
You
a
gonna
good
be
short.
dead.
It's what, like 8 minutes long, 9 minutes long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Translates to Mason in small cubes. No, it doesn't.
The Mason of little cubes, I
Mason
think.
Cube.
Mason cubes.
The
Petite
Mason,
Cube.
yeah.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah.
No, it's a good short. Obviously,
It's good. It won an Oscar. It's damn good.
Obviously, the what it symbolizes though is like what Mitch said. The ending is obvious of what it represents. So
I rub my nipples when I
sad.
watch this anime. It's so damn good.
I
Trust
rub
me.
your nipples when you watch this.
Oh,
What?
shit.
And I rubbed his nipples while he watched.
Oh, are we gonna
you
make
watch
a?
it.
Let's make a train in my
I
bed.
was nowhere near any of them.
Listen, we can all sit on my bed. We'll all make a train. We'll just rub each other's nipples. It'll be perfect.
Mandy
No.
was not on the nipple train.
But I feel.
I
But
got
listen,
mine covered. Thanks.
Mandy, would you sit in the back and then and rub because the person in
Back of the train.
well, yeah,
No.
because the person in the back doesn't get their nipples rubbed, and I feel bad for them.
I'm good.
All right,
I will be somewhere else. Fuck the stranger danger.
all right,
Stranger danger.
fair enough. Last mailbag.
Last mailbag comes from Yotaro Vegeta, and they say, "Lovely day for anime, AAA. I wanted to know if you have seen any of Cannon Busters, the LeSean Thomas anime, and if so, what do you think of the male lead? Related to that question, what is your breaking point for a lead character where you see them as unlikable?" I have not finished Cannon Busters because it was really just losing interest for me.
Yep.
So and it's a damn shame too because it's an anime that has like people of color in it and everything. So I was just like, yeah, this is one for the culture, my guy. Let's get in Netflix. But like, yeah, it's not that great, so I didn't finish.
I haven't
was
seen it.
Very much discount Trigun.
Yeah.
I never watched it. Sorry.
It was like on the sales rack.
But I didn't dislike the main character. Like, I didn't think it was unlikable. So I don't know if you were implying that with your question. But if in regard to that, where you say, what is your breaking point for a lead character, like, to be unlikable? Like, I guess it's the same standard as any character. Just because you see them more often, it's more likely that they could become irritating. But
yeah,
Define unlikable.
For me, for example, I really don't like a main character that is overly oblivious. So, people are oblivious in real life. You can be oblivious. It's a thing. I'm oblivious to some shit sometimes,
I'm never oblivious.
Yeah, the people Mason's the exception here, obviously. He's the outlier. He catches things. Things
Nothing goes over my head.
Things go over my head all at least once a day. Like I'm smart, but I'm not like the most perceptive all the time. But there's a certain tipping point where like a character is just too dumb, like just like not even like for comical purposes. They're just stupid and like don't realize common sense things when things are really laid out in front of them. And I just can't deal with that anymore. So for me, when a lead character is that helpless and like that oblivious, I'm just like, dude, I don't want to watch you be an idiot for 13 episodes. Like, I'm good on that. So that for me is a lead character, or specifically a lead character, because I have to deal with them. Side characters that are oblivious, whatever, like they're not on screen all the time.
Screw them.
So screw them.
Yeah, screw them.
I think that's what it is for me for a lead character. That gets me the most.
All right,
I have a bad history of liking all the characters everyone else hates. So, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
good. They all have a home with me.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Well, thanks for all your mailbags, and keep them coming, please. But we got to get to our impression section of the show. But first, it's a news break and an in-show trivia question. According to my anime list, what is the highest rated non-sequel anime from fall 2019? Stay tuned and we'll find out after the break. Hey, all you crazy anime fans out there, you know I'm back for more anime news. And kicking us off, it looks like a new poll on the Anime website asks its readers to choose which anime character they would most likely to have as a boss at work. And so we'll find out here, reading out the top 5. Wakaba from Kemuri Kusa, which makes no sense whatsoever considering that anime's context. Lucky Beast from Kemono Friends, tied for 3rd with Gintoki Sakata from Gintama. Psychopaths taking both the top 2 spots with Nobuchika Ginoza and Akane Tsunemori, both rounding out the number 1 and number 2 in the top of the list. So, interesting little poll here. People fantasizing about having anime characters as their bosses as opposed to the slave drivers that the people are probably working under in Japan. And next up, a man in China apologizes for praising Pokemon's Team Rocket due to possible allusion to Hong Kong support. So a man posted about his admiration of the comic villains, saying, "I love Team Rocket no matter how many people say they're bad guys. I've loved them since a little kid. No matter how many times they fail, they get back up and keep chasing their dreams," etc., etc. A very sort of positive post. And he included 2 images, one of the characters and another one, and another about the ongoing controversy between the NBA's Houston Rockets team and China's government. And of course, China was very pissed about this, and he was forced to apologize, stating, "I apologize for causing a controversy and hurting everyone. I love my mother country, etc., etc." So, you better watch what you say in China. You just never know what could happen. And next up, the results are in for Pixiv and Nippon Shupan Hanbai Inc.'s web manga general election, where users submitted more than 2,500 different web manga series, and it was whittled down to a very small amount, and the winner was eventually crowned as the winner of this general election of web manga. It looks like the winner was My New Boss is Goofy. The synopsis is a workplace comedy following 26-year-old office worker named Momose. He recently changed jobs after his previous boss harassed him. He's worried his new boss will also use power harassment to make his life miserable. Momose is trying to hide his anxious stomach, but when he first meets his new boss, Shirasaki, he's surprised to find his new boss is such a natural airhead that he eliminates all of Momose's anxiety. If you're a big fan of web mangas, this one looks pretty good. My new boss is Goofy, coming in at number 1 in this Nippon Shuppan Hanbai general election. And rounding us out this time, Zombieland Saga, just like every other anime that was ever made in the last 5 years, is getting a stage play in 2020. This was announced on the official website for Zombieland Saga, and it looks like the stage play is going to be announcing dates, venues, and performers on November 27th. So if you're just a crazy fan of Zombieland Saga and you absolutely have to see the stage play, head over to the website or on November 27th, and you're going to be able to get details about this. So the event is titled Zombieland Saga Live, Fran Shushu, Live of the Dead. So if you're a big fan of that, check that out coming up, of course. Zombieland Saga, very popular anime that came out back in October of 2018. This is Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. Now let's get back to the podcast.
After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes.
What in the world are you two doing? I'm trying to sleep here. It's midnight.
We're using Mandy's arcane power to do a content prayer dance.
Yeah, we're hoping the content gods bless us with thrilling entertainment for the fans.
Content prayer dance. You know, there's a much easier way to make better content. How about starting with studying our vast archive of additional content on AAApodcast.com?
Oh, I already have. I mean, it's only $7 a month for almost 8 additional episodes every month.
That's less than $1 per extra episode and super easy to get to. Just gotta type aapodcast.com/join to become a member.
You went through the whole archive? It's hundreds of hours.
Well, Senpai, anything's possible.
If you believe.
I think I'll just leave you two alone.
Hey, is he gone yet?
Yeah, ready.
Yeah. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes.
Hey, Steve Bloom here, voice of Spike Spiegel, Vincent Valentine, Leron from Gurren Lagann, Guillermo from Digimon, and a bunch of other crap. And I am a total anime addict, dude. Tune in, or else.
All right, welcome back to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where we are dedicated to making your anime addiction worse. Before we went on break, we asked you a question, and the question was, according to Mal, my anime list, what is the highest rated non-sequel anime from fall 2019? The answer, if you don't count its previous special thing, is Fate Grand Order. But if you do count it, then it's Oratsuki, Are You the Only One Who Loves Me? If you got that right, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. So proud of you.
I'm so happy
I'm so happy for you. But you know, it's also something that causes happiness in life.
What would that be, my friend?
Some good old 5-star reviews, my dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for iTunes review.
Okay, doing iTunes review from Fair50. Thank you. You guys brightened up my day. I could be having a terrible day, and then I tune into you guys, and you make me smile. Thank you for making my addiction worse. Well, Fair50, you are very welcome, gotta say.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you for writing us.
That's right. So now that we've gotten through that, we are now at the impression section of the show. We have a lot of impressions to do, so let's get right to it.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it.
We're going to be doing Shincho Yusha. We're going to be doing Honzuki. Did I get that right? We're not doing Shincho Yusha, are we?
I thought we were doing Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon. My bad, Babylon. We're doing Babylon. We're doing Honzuki no Gekokujo.
Or Ascendance of a Bookworm.
There you go. Hokago Saikoto Club, Blade the Immortal, and Ahiru No Sora. So, I guess we'll just go in order. Babylon's up first. Let's get to it. Give me give me some Babylon, baby.
So Babylon is an anime that I was very looking forward to checking out because the aesthetics of the trailer were really interesting to me. It is a cop crime mystery drama from the studio Revolute, who has that motorcycle intro clip if you've seen it before. And it's just in general, and I think I said this on the impression, I am generally quite interested in mysteries because when they pay off real good. And I also thought the trailer had really cool aesthetics to it. The animation is just it's bold. It's really the colors aren't crazy, but the animation was very interesting to me. And it did not disappoint within these first three episodes in terms of the animation. I think everything, and from camera angles to the way light reflects off stuff, to the way they use shadow, to the way they overemphasize facial features of someone that's talking, is really interesting and captivating. They have really cool sweeping shots across sometimes a character's eyes when they're saying something or realizing. It's really an engaging experience just from the camera side of things, which just further embellishes how I think crispy the animation can be. Also, I feel like someone mentioned this on a previous episode, but the sound design of this show is actually insanely good. Everything
It's
from
probably me.
Yeah, probably. I think it was you or Mason for sure, but the sound design is super mixed, super well. Everything from a door opening to someone rifling through papers to footsteps to the sound of an interstate highway. It sounds really good in the ear. They really mixed it super well. And in terms of story and characters, I've found the main lead, Seizaki Zen, super cool. I think he's really cool. I think he is, to me, what I think about a detective that's out to do a good job in a realistic world would be like. He has a sense of humor that doesn't really show too much, but you can see it in the way he talks to his best friend. But he takes his job very seriously. He trusts his coworkers. He really knows how to lead a team. The people that he works with are all very cool side characters. It's unfortunate that one of the ones I did ends up, passing away in episode 2 of the show.
Spoiler.
Oh no!
It's impression.
Just don't tell me which one you liked, and I'll be okay.
Yeah, just don't tell us which one you like.
It's not the biggest thing in the world. I didn't think to say, but it's a bummer. But the thing is, it's really well done how even within the first 3 episodes I gave enough shit about these characters to really feel that when it happened. So I'm really enjoying this because on top of all the things I just mentioned, the actual drama mystery of what's going on has been really, really nice as well. They are delivering information at a very nice pace, and and it's cool because they kind of feed you this one thing and you kind of believe it, and then things don't really go that way that I thought at least they were going. And it was such a good turnaround, and I didn't expect that, but within the first 3 episodes. So I cannot wait to see more of the show. I'm very much excited to get to the bottom of what these detectives are investigating, because it seems like the idea that was presented at the end of episode 3 is a very anime-esque idea, but everything else around it, I think it is pretty much real world corruption that you could say could happen now. And it's cool to see how I'm excited to see how they're gonna address all that. So I would like to hear if you guys have seen any of this, what you guys think, but I am passing the shit out of this show. I'm so stoked to watch this.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I talked about it in our previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
The 3rd episode ended in such a wild place. I'm like, oh, God, I need to see more.
Right? Dude, what?
I
was like, what the fuck?
it's curious because you're like, is something like really like weird and supernatural going on, or is this actual like
Right.
thing that could happen? That's how I
Right.
felt about 20th Century Boys too.
It's like creepy. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of creepy. But I'm
That's pretty
so
creepy.
down. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Next up.
Is next up the Bookworm? Yes. Okay. Ascendance of a Bookworm. This one, I did a manga, and it's being adapted by Ajiado. I think that's how you pronounce their studio. And the director is Mitsuru Hongo. And I talked about this one on a previous episode, and I also did a manga minute on it. It's about it's an isekai with a girl or woman who is working at a library, and she absolutely loves books. They're like her life. She just constantly needs to read. And then unfortunately there is an earthquake one day, and a bookshelf topples over and kills her, and then she is reincarnated into a fantasy-ish world. I know it's medieval. I'm not sure. I haven't figured out yet if there is some kind of fantasy-like thing going on, but she is reborn to this new world.
Would you call it an isekai? Is it an
Don't
isekai?
drop.
Don't play it?
No.
No. Did you see my finger right on that soundboard?
No, I just knew you were going to do it.
Okay. Damn it.
Anyways, and
sharp.
she's reborn as this child named Mine, and it's just really weird because like in the book it's Myne, and then the subtitles were like spelling it is like Maine. I was like, wait a second, like Main. I was like, there's a discrepancy here somewhere. But her name is Mine, and she is very small, very frail. She's very sickly, and she's reborn to a very poor family that can't afford books, because in this world only the very wealthy are able to obtain books, and they're able to read. Some of the guards of this world can read, but most people are illiterate. And so from the first 3 episodes, what I do like about this is that I love Maine as a character. She's great. She's so determined to meet her goals in becoming a librarian. She is determined that if I cannot obtain books, that I'm going to make them myself. And she's very like she's just looking out for ways that she can make paper and ways that she can make ink, and she really wants to learn how, like, the alphabet of this world. And so yeah, I love her because she's just so determined, despite her like small frail body, that she's just going to do whatever she can to get these books. And I like that it's also an isekai that uses knowledge from the previous world to their advantage, because I think we've mentioned this before, where it's like isekais are like, why is this an isekai and not just a fantasy? Because they don't use their knowledge at all. This one she does, because in the first few episodes we see her develop things like shampoo. She learns how to crochet, much to like her family's horror, because they're like, where is she learning all of this stuff?
Oh
like,
no!
How?
Our child's a nerd.
Yeah. The horror. And I like that her inner thought portions are very expressive. Like whenever she's thinking something like really, like she's really happy about something, it shows like her thoughts in this like chibi form that jumps up, and it's very expressive in her flashback scenes too. But it's very wholesome. It's a different kind of isekai than what you usually get, and I also just like the idea of spreading a love for literacy. But the things that I dislike about it are that the cities feel so bland and empty. And it's definitely going to be like a production issue. I think I mentioned this on the previous episode. It's just there's not a lot of animation. I could see people who dislike slice of life being bored by this very quickly, because a lot of the first few moments of the first few episodes are just mundane tasks that she is performing. Like, I'm going to make shampoo, and like because my hair is dirty, and I'm going to make a special clip for my sister's hair and stuff like that. But for me, I personally am enjoying it, and I look forward to watching more because I like slice of life. But and I just like that it's a different kind of isekai. I think for reviews I'm going to fail it though, because I know that this is a show for me and no one else. So, but yeah, I don't know how how it's going to develop. I don't know where it's going to go from here. But right now, it's basically just I'm making items in this world for using knowledge of my previous one. That's pretty much it. But I will probably be talking about it later on because I am interested by it.
But not passing it?
No. Not for.
You shall not pass. Okay.
I'll be talking about it. We will not give an arbitrary, useless number for a score.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you're still good.
Yeah. I might score it one day, but it is not this day.
All right, next up.
I figured I can go next to give Mandy half a second to rescope. So I'll be talking about Blade of the Immortal. This is done by Linden Films, and it's on Amazon Prime Video, which is always an interesting, I think, source to get it through. I'm interested in this because it's supposed to be a complete adaptation of the work. Quick primer: the series is set in Japan during the shogunate period, and it follows this cursed samurai who is immortal, hence the name, who has to kill 1,000 evil men in order to regain his mortality. So essentially, at the beginning, when I was kind of giving my pick of this show, I was talking about the director, Hamasaki Hiroshi, and I was saying, like, he's definitely not going to be the reason why this doesn't pass, because he's the king of making shows that are patient, dark, nihilistic, and just have moments of savage brutality.
Was that a spoiler?
No. Spoiler for this show, you're saying?
Yeah. No, spoiler for us. For your impression.
Oh, well, do you
the reason
think
why
I'm
it's not going to pass.
No, it's because he does succeed. He succeeds so much. So the first episode of the show was very much a direct copy of many of his other styles that he's flexed on other shows, notably Shigurui and Technolize. But it's not like your garden variety, like samurai violence, where people just kind of like run around with katanas and there's an occasional spray of blood. I'm talking like this is like twisted weaponry. We're talking about human trophy collecting. This is a very like mentally violent show. It's unsettling in great ways. So if that's what you're down for,
hell yes,
check it out. If not, this is clearly not for you. Episodes 2 and 3 are a little more dialogue heavy, but what's very interesting about the show is it always jumps to the most interesting part of the story. Like, they are trying to adapt a manga that has gone on for 30 volumes. It's gone on for like 2 decades, I think, and they only have 24 episodes to do it. And this show does not waste any time in the mundane moments of life. Like, it's very jittery. It snaps from scene to scene, and it assumes that you can fill in the blanks between them. The character will say, I'm going to go look for lodging tonight, and then snap cut to the next day, like they're waking up from that lodging. Like, they don't waste any time. They're only trying to give you the most interesting parts, and that's either going to be depositing current day information or backstories. That's it. And so it might feel rushed, but I think it works for the best. So unlike Dororo, which is like another recent show we reviewed, the world and the characters are not necessarily like, they're more the main characters than the two we see. The enjoyment of the show kind of consists on your ability to get invested in the world and all the people they meet. And it's not really a following these two people on a journey, which it is, but it's less their journey that you need to be invested in. So if you don't get into like very episodic side story type things, this also might not be a show for you. So it's kind of where the series moves fast to tell you about other people in the world more than the main characters. All that said, it's still good. But by far, the star of the series, by a landslide, is Yoji Shimizu, who is the sound director of the series. And interesting that Enzo brought up Babylon earlier and the sound in that. This guy is the sound director in this show, and it's on another level. Like, the immersion in the environment through like the running water, wildlife. There's like a water wheel that constantly keeps on clicking and clacking away.
Sounds so nice.
The whirling and whooshing of weapons, like cutting through air and flesh. It's stimulating to the senses. It's like Five Gum. It's so
Gum,
so captivating.
Five Gum, dude.
Yeah, it makes the gore even gorier when you can like hear the flesh tearing.
It does. It's great for the senses.
Yummy.
And the sound needs to be top notch because, to be honest, the art is kind of meh for this series. Like, it's both the still frames and the animation are nowhere near as strong or consistent as what Madhouse did on Hamasaki's previous works. Like, even in episode 1, where most shows tend to look their best, like, there was clear moments of like cutting their costs, saving their budget for other scenes, and like it works at some times and doesn't work at others, and it can kind of take you out of the experience. But overall, it's good enough, and that's, I guess, competent. The anatomy of the characters have this ugly reality to them, which is super unique, I think, in anime. Like, we get very pronounced noses, monkey-esque airs, and like fingers and feet that kind of like knurl and twist. And it's,
Did you call them monkey?
yeah, like the airs are like really big and circular and kind of goofy looking sometimes. And even during fights, like the choreography is pretty much neglected. Like, there's not a lot of like good animation cuts. It very much relies more on like excellent framing shots and like reactions of the battle, because fights are not about like the actual fights themselves. It's about the conflict of will, the conflict of desire, and like what each fighter is bringing to the conflict more than the actual like techniques they're using. So, it's weird because the art is kind of middling. It's all over the place. The story jumps over big swaths of things, and it's kind of jumping and jittery. So there's all these like little things that might throw people off of this series. But I think at the end of the day, it's a very unique watch, and it's, I don't know, it just got that satisfying story to it that I think will develop into something cool. So I'm going to pass it, but it's definitely not going to be for everyone.
Impressive.
There you go. Fantastic.
I'm enjoying it.
I can't wait to watch the blood rain down from the sky.
Yeah, episode 1 and 3 were the best ones so far.
Yeah, the second one
was fine. It definitely was a little too obvious what they were going to do with the painting of blood.
Yes, very.
And it was like it's a very cool concept, but it wasn't as like
it wasn't
like
subtle
you said.
at
It was a
all.
little exactly. So definitely. And after episode 1, though, if you're not feeling it, I think go ahead and drop it. Like, it's very much what the series will be like. So give it a shot.
All right.
Alrighty, my next one is Dice Club. It's like Psychodal Dice Club, and this one is being adapted by Linden Films. It's a manga adaptation, and the director is Kenichi Imaizumi. And this one I also talked about in a previous episode. This is the one where these two girls, high school girls, Miki, who is a very timid girl who has to follow rules, and Aya, who is very adventurous and just super genki. And
she's great.
Yeah, she's pretty good. They meet up, and Miki is new to the school, and they they go on an adventure together, or more like Aya dragging Miki. But then they see their classmate Midori, who is the class president, and going into a very weird-looking store very late at night. And they're like, this is, students in Japan are like, oh, we can't be out during a certain time. So they go to spy on her and find out that she is working at a board game club. And I've talked about this before, where all of the board games in this anime are ones that actually exist and that I have played, and some that I own that I have seen in their store. And that's pretty much the entire gist of the show is that every episode they introduce a new board game and they learn how to play it. And they're also trying to get Miki to break out of her shell because she's very timid. She's very shy and kind of just scared to really like go out there and to go on adventures, and Aya's just wanting to drag her out of that shell. And so they kind of do this through the act of playing board games together. And then there's some other little characters on the side as well. There is a boy who has a very large crush on Aya, and I love the second episode with him.
Oh no, I didn't get there yet. I only watched episode 1.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm glad they're bringing in more people.
Yeah, and like that, and we also get to meet some of Dory's family and so on. But I think what I do like about this show is that I feel like the gaming portions nail the fun of playing board games in a group. It just reminds me so much of going out to game nights because I love that they pick on each other. the joy of trying to figure out like, oh, I need this many points to win, and it's just like the tension of rolling that dice. I like that. I also, one thing that I absolutely love is that they tell you how to play the game. They go through an entire portion of explaining the rules to you. So in the first episode, they play the game Mataketch, which I have played before in the past. And then they played the second episode, they played Cockroach Poker, which I've also played. And I've also played Ink and Gold, which is in the third episode. And they go through a whole portion of it where they tell you the rules to the game. And I love that. I could see how if you have no interest in board games, that portion is going to be super boring for you. But I am looking forward to them bringing up games that I've never heard of and be like, oh, I can watch this. I now know how to play. I could go get this game, take it to a board game night. That's what I like about it. Things that I don't like about it, though, are that the characters and their struggles are not very unique. We've seen these characters in loads of anime. And I feel like whenever there are portions of it where it's like the school drama or like, you know, them interacting with one another and then the board game portion of the episodes, I feel like this high school part, I kind of just want to fast forward through to get to the gaming portion. I just want to watch them play games. I want to watch.
What percentage of it is games and what percentage of it is high school stuff?
I don't know. I'd have to say maybe. I don't know, because I think each episode is different. The first episode, it took them forever to get to the game.
Yeah, but that was also like character introduction.
Right. And it was also character introductions. And then like the third episode, a large portion of that was game. And the second episode is kind of half and half. But I also, in the third episode, there is a part that I really disliked where they introduced a delinquent woman. And Miki, of course, is like terrified of her. Like, oh, she has piercings? She must be a terrible person. then I don't like this part where the delinquent woman blames Miki for bullying. Like you're bullied because you ask for it because you're so timid. I don't like that. that really
classic delinquent.
Irritated me. But later on you find out she was just doing that to try and force Miki to be aggressive in the game and to win. But I was like, I don't like that victim bullying shit or, you know, victim blaming shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, also, I don't know, like Aya, I love Aya, but the other characters are not grabbing me. But I know this is a show for me, though. Like, I'm loving it, and I'm definitely going to keep watching it because I love board games. But if you have no interest in board games, I think this would be a really hard one to watch. And also, if you like board games but don't like watching people play them, it would be really hard to watch. But yeah, so I am going to fail it for a review, but I will be talking about it later on because I'm loving it.
Yeah, I had to catch up on that one too.
Did you watch any?
So do they give the full rules for every game? Because it seemed like they gave you enough to like participate in watching on the show, but they didn't get to like all the nitty gritty. So it didn't feel like they spent that much time. It wasn't like, well, actually, if on the second consecutive roll of the same dice, this like it's like they just gave you the basics.
But Mario Catch is a very easy game.
True.
That's a very simple.
But even then, like, yeah,
when they get to like Ink and Gold later on in the third episode, that one's much longer.
Okay.
Much longer. Cockroach Poker, there's like hardly any rules to it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure how much time they actually spent explaining because I thought the first episode did a good job of just, here's the game, now you can at least watch it.
Yeah, and then have the old man at the board game store just ready to stomp these girls into the ground.
I don't go easy on.
I don't go easy on you. I don't care who you are.
Even if you're a little girl.
Even if you're a little girl. I was like, yeah, dude, I got your back.
All right, here comes Jeff Goldblum, everyone's favorite. He is handsome.
That is one big pile of shit.
Probably not a big pile of shit, but Jeff Goldblum is great. Last one here, Ahiru No Sora. Really, really dumb title. I don't know. Why do we insist on? If you translate this title, it means literally a duck's sky. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, but they're called the Ducks in the movie. The
Mighty Ducks.
Anyway, we'll get to it. So all right. So this is an anime about a kid named Sora Kurumatani he loves basketball and he's joining high school, and so he wants to join the basketball club, and so he wants to, because he wants to play basketball. Simple as that. And he runs into some issues in accomplishing his goals of joining the basketball club because, well, simply put, the club doesn't really play basketball, even though it's the basketball club. It's full of these thug, delinquent kids who, he'll be like, oh, I want to play basketball. Let's go play basketball. And they'd rather look through the hole that they've drilled in the wall of their club room that leads directly to the girls' locker room so they can watch the girls change. It was very like Porky's, the old 80s movie Porky's. So it's a fun story. This kid joins this club and he's trying to get all these guys in line to play. And even this guy named Chiaki, who is this huge dude, and he's in the club as well, but even he doesn't want to play basketball, even though he's not quite as abusive as the other club members that are in the club room that he has to deal with. The catch with this anime, you wouldn't think it was really anything unique, considering we've had at least 10 other basketball anime in the last decade. But the uniqueness of this show is that it's going to end up being an underdog story, because the thing about Sora is that he's really small. He's described as being, let me see if they give the exact height here. I recall it being, he's 149 centimeters, which for those of you that don't know how tall that is not even 5 feet tall. I believe that is 4'11" and a half, basically. So, and he weighs a whopping 90 pounds. So he's the smallest kid ever. And the other kids in the club room are these giant, they're even called there's two brothers who were called the brothers of hell or some equivalency in the anime and in their school. And I like this anime quite a bit, and the reason why I like it is because I just love the delinquent thug kids. I just love watching them beat the crap out of each other. Momoharu, which is who's the blonde sort of leader of the delinquents in the club, he's definitely, he likes basketball a lot, and he played it a lot when he was younger. However, he kind of gives up on basketball because even though he tries to practice, he practices more than anybody else on the team by far. He's just not any good at it, and he just can't shoot. That's the thing. He's about as bad as the guy as the characters from Slam Dunk. They just can't. Yeah, he just can't shoot at all, and so he can't even dunk. He'll go up and dunk it and he'll miss, and so. But he gets motivated by Sora to want to practice more. So he one night he goes to the club room really late, and Sora can't really practice basketball during the day because the thug club members won't really let him. So he'll stay till 10 o'clock at night, and he'll shoot 1,000 shots a night. And one night Momoharu sees him doing that, and he's inspired by it to start practicing again. So then Sora catches Momoharu kind of practicing in some basketball court in some random place. And it's interesting. It's an interesting show. The reason why it's called Duck Sky is because it doesn't make any sense to me at all. But there's a scene where Sora, who's actually really good, by the way, he's taking on 5 other people at once, which is not very likely. But he ducks and dives between 2 players that are kind of guarding with their arms out, and I guess He's supposed to look like a duck or something when he does it, but in reality, I don't really understand the metaphor. I'm kind of interested to see where this is going to go. we had a conversation on Discord earlier in the week, and you know, you got these other guys that are they're like, how tall is Momoharu? He is tall as shit. He's man, he's 187 centimeters, so that puts him at like well over 6 feet, I think. And so, like, you got a guy who's like 6'3", guarding a kid who's 5 feet. Like the 5-foot kid's just never going to be able to shoot over the 6-foot guy because the wingspan alone from his arms is going to make it so that the kid would have to do the most insane fadeaway jump shot ever. You know, in reality, like it'd be like a kid trying to shoot over a mountain. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's really good though. Like the music is really good. The opening theme song is done by the Pillows from Fooly Cooly, which is quite a good theme song. And it's called Happy Go Ducky, which might be the worst theme song name ever, but the fits for the show, I guess. But it's a really good theme song, and the music.
It's the Pillows.
Yeah, it's really good. It definitely has their aesthetic to it, and overall, I think it's really quite good. You know, I think it's every bit as good as I thought Slam Dunk was after 3 episodes, and so it's nice to have another basketball anime to watch because you know I feel like they come and go, but I don't know. When was the last time we had one prior to Kuroko no Basket? Was there one that I'm missing? Or, I mean, it's been a while, right?
Kuroko's the other one that matters. So
yeah, Kuroko came out like...
all the kids love it, so that's all that matters.
Kuroko no Basket came out like...
That's me! I love it! Don't judge me!
Mm-hmm. I don't think this anime is not going to be as unrealistic as Kuroko no Basket. Like, you're not going to have kids, like, stealing techniques or hitting...
Yeah, it's not going to be as realistic.
Yeah, it won't be realistic. It's not going to be nearly as like wild as Kuroko is. So if you're looking for like a show that's like very shonen, where you got kids shooting 3-pointers with 100% accuracy from like 90 feet away, that's really not going to be this show. I don't think. I hope not. We'll see if this kid's like dunking over 6-foot tall dudes and draining 3-pointers with a kid like literally leaning his whole body over him while he tries to shoot. Maybe I'll call some bullshit later, but. For now, I think Ahiru no Sora is pretty good for a sports fan. You should probably watch it. It's pretty enjoyable. So I'm going to find a good drop here for this.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
That's a bingo. That's 3 passes already the first day. So we have passed Babylon, Blade of the Immortal, and Ahiru no Sora. Babylon. So
you're only going to pass this season if you're in alphabetical order. The top of the food chain.
That's right. Yeah. We have a lot more to go, guys. We got 15 more shows to pass over the next 3 weeks, so stick with us. We're gonna find out what the cream of the crop is, supposedly, from the season. So, and I'm enjoying kind of peeling back the onion and deciphering what the good shows are to watch. So,
and then we get the listener's choice at the end to tell us what we missed. Or make us suffer.
Yeah, ultimately where we screw up, and we will have someone jump in, and we'll have people jump in and be like, hey, you guys totally forgot this.
Vote for Outburst Dreamer Boys, please.
Outburst Dreamer Boys, and I've heard Orisuki is, people are liking that, but Outburst Dreamers Boys, don't sleep on it. At least give it a chance.
It's great.
It slides.
It slides! Every time. I laugh. I love it. I love
best comedy of the year by far.
Every episode, I burst out laughing.
Guys, this was a pretty good length of an episode. We are just over 2 hours. It is amazing. A small miracle.
Is it a coincidence that it's a good time episode when it's the episode that also complimented me? I'm just saying.
Oh my God. Well,
just,
listen, we're gonna track that statistic. You guys feel free to write in some more mailbags complimenting Enzo.
That's why we're shutting down so quick.
Oh shit!
Yeah, exactly. I think next episode I'm just gonna relentlessly insult him and just make the episode drag on so we can prove it right. So, yeah, there we go.
So we will. I'm just gonna stick like 45 minutes of dead air at the end of this episode, just to pad it so that
Just cue the data.
All of this.
All right, guys. Again, if you want to follow us, if you want to help us out, support the podcast, get extra content, you can do it over at aaapodcast.com/join. We do our hentai episodes. I don't know that anybody else does hentai episodes. We do our hobby addicts. We talk about a lot of video games. If you're a big gamer, you can get a lot of good information from that. We're always talking video games. And of course, we do our after parties, which we do after this regular podcast. Just kind of shoot the shit with you for a little while, so you can get it over at aaapodcast.com/join. We're also on Twitter. You guys want to throw your Twitter handles out there?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Enzo Badia, ENZOBADIA. I'm almost at 1,000 on Instagram. Please help your boy.
Ooh.
Please, I want the 4 digits. You know what I'm saying?
I'm AAA_Mandy with an I on Twitter. Come, and I've been retweeting a lot of shit about Hunter x Hunter, so I have obsessions, peoples.
I'm just on the Discord, but come hang out when we do our next video game playthrough. We did Trine 4. We'll be doing it again. Oh my goodness, it's a comical time.
It's nonsense, chaos.
All right, and I'm at Pope Mitsugi. Head over to the Discord and see us, and we'll see you next week on the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Take care, everybody.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger, baby.
Danger.
Oh, what is this? Okay. Bye.
Stranger danger.
Bye, people. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.